While you haven't been able to visit your grandma or your grandpa, maybe a parent, aunt, or an uncle, several places have had COVID-19 circulating through their facilities. Take a look at this list. These are the places here in the Bay Area that have seen the most cases of COVID-19. Bristol at Tampa Rehabilitation and Nursing Center, 117 cases. Highlands Lake Center in Polk County, 84 cases. Community Convalescent Center in Hillsborough, 83 cases. Manatee Springs Rehabilitation and Nursing Center, 69 cases. Freedom Square Seminole, 53 cases. 3 of the facilities with the most deaths in the state are right here in the Bay Area: Seminole Pavilion, Bradenton River, and Highlands Lake Center. More than 700 people at long-term care facilities have died in the state of Florida, 203 of them this past week alone. One woman says her mother is now part of that statistic. And as she tells 10 Investigates Jennifer Titus, she thinks her mother and others could have survived this pandemic if things inside those nursing homes were done differently.
She became ill and was in the hospital and then went to the nursing home for rehab.
Betty Foster went to Manatee Springs Rehabilitation and Nursing Center in January, separated from her love of 40 years.
She went in January, and my father, we found an assisted living facility. And the plan was for, once we got everything in place, for her to go and be with him then in that facility, in that apartment.
That never happened.
No, unfortunately, yeah.
Betty passed away last Wednesday after testing positive for COVID-19.
I got the call and she's gone. She's dead.
Betty's family says that should have never happened.
She had gotten back to a physical state where she would have been appropriate for assisted living.
But the nursing homes went on lockdown. 2 weeks ago, Betty started feeling sick. The nursing home said she had pneumonia.
My stepmother was coughing and was short of breath.
LeAnn Foster says she called the facility demanding her mom be tested for coronavirus after hearing there were already positive cases.
I said, well, why haven't you tested anyone in your building? She couldn't get the test.
She called the Agency for Healthcare Administration to complain.
The next day, the State Board of Health went in there and tested every staff member and every resident.
Those results wouldn't come back for a week. Betty was already in the hospital when she got her positive test results. The next day, she passed away.
And now I have a father who waited all this time for his wife to come back to him. And he got to see her yesterday in the funeral home.
Do you think that they are doing enough when it comes to testing in these facilities?
Not when the DON tells me that she can't get a test to test my stepmother.
Access to those tests have been touted by Governor DeSantis, who says the National Guard has been sent out to these facilities. And just last week, he announced a first-of-its-kind mobile lab deploying to long-term care facilities. 10 Investigates has asked repeatedly for a list of facilities getting this assistance, but so far, we haven't gotten that information.
I'm afraid my father's not going to make it because he lived for my stepmother. It was all he has waited for is for her to come back.
And the Florida Department of Health tells 10 Investigates that Manatee Springs is one of the 4 facilities in Manatee County that the National Guard was deployed to. We've also learned, guys, that the Agency for Healthcare Administration is now requiring all facilities to allow the Florida Department of Health to come in and test staff for COVID-19.